Hello, my friends, and welcome to another Kohan Duels video. I have a cast for you today, as I do most times that I'm here. This is Lord Mekton versus Tau. This is a random game. They played it the other day, and one of them just posted the replay. I didn't ask a single question about the game. I just downloaded it, and I'm right here, and I'm going to cast it. We're still finishing up the tournament. This is just a slight little deviation from that. We have the finals to go for the Kohan Ascension tournament from last year. But there's just been so many games going on with the new patch and the updated maps that I really just wanted to get something out there to reflect that. And I just felt like casting a game right here, right now. So here I am, Lord Mekton versus Tau. Building up the anticipation before I say one more thing. We have the June show match. Signups are up. Gonna put a link down in the description, doing all that. And we have some really fucking exciting news, like stupidly exciting news. Somebody, an anonymous member of the community, donated some money to act as a prize pool for this show match. We're going to do another mini tournament, kind of the same thing we did last time. As of right now, I think it's actually going to be the same players. Signups are still open, so if you're interested, put your name on the list. I will say that it's really hard to do a tournament. You can do one easily with 4 players. You can do one easily with 8 players. Anything in between there, it's pretty hard to do unless you're doing like a round robin or something where there's a lot of matches, which we're not going to do for a small tournament. So it's going to be these 4 players unless we get enough where it could be 8 players, and then we'll make an 8-player tournament happen. So yeah, don't be afraid to put your name down. All I can say is you may or may not be able to play. But if you put your name down and you don't get to play this month, you will 100% get to play next month if you want. And that's how these show matches are always going to work. There's never going to be, or a lot of the times, it just won't be possible to accommodate everyone. If you have like 5 people and we're doing a tournament, it's just an awkward number. So if you put your name down, it's not 100% chance you're going to get in there, but it is pretty much 100% chance that if I have to put you to the sideline on this one and you sign up for the next one, you will be the first to get into that one. So yeah, this is super exciting. These show matches are going awesome. I mean, we only did one really, but it was very successful, I'd say. And now we have a donation for a prize pool for the next one, which is kind of out of this world. Not anything I ever really expected. So that's very cool. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the norm. I don't necessarily plan for it to be. This might just be a one-time thing, or maybe the community will want to keep donating a little bit of money to have these tournaments go on. Yeah, super exciting. Now back to the action. Tau versus Lord Mekton. Let's do this, my friends. Alrighty, over here in the east, we have Tau, Nationalist as always. And over here in the west, we have Lord Mekton, who played random this game and got Royalist. I'm interested to see... There we go, he does say he's Royalist. I think that's really good etiquette in this game if you're playing random to let the other player know as ASAP who you are. It's just kind of stupid, just because of the asymmetries in this game between the 2 company limit factions and the 1 company limit factions. There's such a big difference in how you play against them that random can just be really powerful because you can just always force your opponent to play as if they're playing against Royalist or Zeza. So anyways, Lord Mekton does the right thing, tells him who he is. It's Royalist versus Nationalist, baby. And we have a fairly standard opening. I would actually say it's slightly non-standard, in my opinion. To go for the quarry first without going for engineers first. He goes for those full scouts. He goes for the settlers. And over here, we just have settlers first, which is not always a given for Nationalists. In fact, it's often more popular to save your settlers until either your upgrade or until you take an indie with 2 companies, which is what we saw Flute do a lot in the last tournament. But we're seeing a really interesting build here, because he is not upgrading his village right now. He is not upgrading at all, and I don't think that's a mistake. You can definitely do builds with Nationalists where you just stay on villages, so I'm really interested to see what he does here. Like, I've done builds where you can, at this point, go double settler and just stay on 4 villages, and I don't really suggest that, but it's a thing you can do. Okay, so he's just... Okay, he is going for another settler and going for engineer. Really interesting build. I'm actually super curious to see how this goes. Because I've actually been kind of thinking about builds like this more often, where you stay on villages and go for more settlers We actually saw a game with Avatar recently. I didn't cast this game. This is just a game that got played, where he had gone like 4 villages, and it was on Destiny's, and then he just took the Slan and just basically built nothing but Slan. It was kind of a hilarious game. But point being, there are a lot of ways a Nationalist could play where you hold off on those upgrades. Really curious to see how this goes. Really curious. Tau has got his engineers up, and it is really awkward on Cave of Fear being, if you do this double settle with Nationalist, like, where do you settle? Obviously he's going down here, but you can't settle forward because that Raksha is right there, and there's no other place to do it. But Tau is making it work. He can huddle into the corner here, skirting around the edge of this. I really hope he doesn't get caught there. He does not. And what components are we looking at? Nothing here. And still just quarry woodmill here. I am so confused. I'm interested. You've piqued my interest, Tau. Over here, we have pretty standard stuff coming from our Royalist player. Like I said, I think he kind of did these components a little differently than I was expecting, going for that quarry first without the engineers. Usually, if you're holding off your engineers, you'll just go wood first, and then into billet, and then into iron, so that way you have everything you need for goons and horse archers going forward in the game. You can start to get lancers, and then you just get your quarry here. Either way, he's got full scouts, full engineers. Garden Pain is going for the kill with his giant blade. Xerxes is going for the trail with his trailblazing. We got another settlement here, and he did take his Raksha. He has not taken his ruined monument yet. Let's go over and see what's happening with the Nationalist player. He's still just not building any components. I'm so confused. Going for those full scouts. Now, I think he is going to go and try to take his Draga soon. Still has... Oh, he did take his ruined monument. But he's just sitting there. He's pulling up 240 gold. I mean, is he going to try to go, like, take the Draga and then tech up to the Witch Doctors? And he's just saving all of it for this? If that was the case, I'm confused why he did the double settler thing. Except, I guess, you know, just to get that company limit and all that. Over here, we have the scouts from Lord Mekton are moving into this general area. You see they were actually headed straight for this Raksha. It's interesting, this Raksha, when you don't take it early, it can actually be a slight deterrent to your opponent. I don't think it's going to be a huge deterrent, but he is going to aggro them, and it's going to stop him from scouting right in there. Still no components. He does have a carpentry guild there. What are you doing, Tau? Over here, we have pretty standard stuff coming out of the Draga for our Royalist player. He's sitting at plus 50. Tau is only at plus 31. Okay, he is immediately going for that woodmill at the Draga. I think he is. I really think he is just going to go for trying to get the tech out of there immediately and just saving up all his money for that. Wood goes down. Carpentry guild goes down. Still absolutely no components from any of these other settlements. Now, the scouts are going to come in here. They're going to see what's going on. They're going to see this extra settlement, and so he has to know that it's some weird build where he went for an extra settlement. Going to get caught a little bit over here, but they'll get out just fine. Carpentry Guild is down, going for the blacksmith. Now, he's going to have pretty much, if you look at his money, he'll have exactly enough. The blacksmith will be 72 to get to a blast furnace, and then 50 for temple and library. That's pretty much exactly what he has right now. So if he does that, he will end with just whatever money he makes in the meantime, which will be about, 30 to 40 gold. No, going for the iron export. I am slightly speechless. It's just such a slow opening. Still hasn't taken his Raksha. Going to take it. Going for the market there. I mean, he could have done... I'm having a hard time knowing what to say. He could have done econ. He could have spent money on econ buildings in his 2 empty settlements and gotten that econ up faster. It's the 9-minute mark. Instead of getting that econ up at like the 4 or 5 minute mark, he's getting it up at the 9-minute mark. And that difference of 30 econ, 30 GPM, 4 minutes, that's like 120 gold right there. That he could have made. going for the bank. He does get a wood mill over here. This is just the let's look at Tau's components all game. Oh, half super lancers. I don't know if that's what you call them, but that's what I call them when this is a single ranger. And I love shit like this, especially on Cave of Fear, when you really want to be able to maneuver through the desert well. You just need one ranger. I think people sometimes get really locked in this mindset of like, okay, it's either scouts or super scouts. You have to have two rangers. It has to, you know. I find myself more often, the more I play, using a lot of companies with only a single support unit. Now, this one does have the Lancer back there, but it could have just been 4 Lancers in a Ranger. It only has one that's actually giving any modifiers provided. And I just think it's a really powerful way to play the game a lot of the time. People get trapped in thinking that you have to go like all or nothing, but sometimes the halfway approach actually really works. So anyways, these guys are gearing up, moving up. I don't know where he's going. He decided to go on Tau's side of the map, maybe going for that Royalist, actually, which is an interesting choice. I tend to like to take neutrals of the different faction than I am, because then it just gives you more opportunities for tech that you don't have available to you otherwise. But he looks like he is staging to take this, and Tau is up here too. He might be staging to try to take his Dark Rift, but I don't know. Both players are just sitting here, and I don't know if they actually see each other. Down here, we have Lord Mekton is just building an outpost there to stop any cheese from coming from the bottom. I don't mind that at all. If he has the money to spend, I wouldn't have done it this early, especially he's scouted a bit and kind of knows what's going on. Oh, and actually fails to take Ravenville, and that is actually a huge hit for Lord Mekton. There's actually no other way to say that, but that's a fucking bummer. But Scouts and Lancers, they're not the strongest companies in the game. When put them together. Tau does take his Dark Rift, and that was actually kind of a big turning point for the game right there. Tau succeeding in taking that lair, going back home happy. Meanwhile, Mekton completely failing to take that neutral and has to go home with its tail between his legs. Just wasted a lot of time, a lot of resources for absolutely no gain. Meanwhile, over here, we have a library coming out of Vergogoth. Now, he can start making some companies out of that. He's sitting on a lot of wood. He actually has Carpentry Guild library coming out of his mains, so sold that quarry, and just has a lot of wood coming out of all his various places. And he is throwing down double bowman with double magician backing. He had all the resources to do that perfectly, and I don't mind this play at all. I think this is actually pretty powerful. Getting these companies out. This is a shitload of DPS that's going to be able to come out now. Now I may like to see like just throw an iron down there and then get some short zerks, just so you can have a little more front line. But this is going to work out pretty well still. He's going for a market here. He's just wanting to econ up. He's saving that last company limit, I assume, to get some settlers. But market is finished. Going for a factory. And we have the first horse archers, half super again, coming out of our Royalist player. And so he's got a fairly standard Royalist army, really leaning into the Ranger play on this desert-heavy map, which we've seen a lot of. I'd say it's pretty standard at this point. Now, Tau, I think it's time for him to make some sort of move. As these magicians are coming up, I would like to see a slow push forward into something. These Lancers are going out there all alone, and they're going to do a little harass and run away for sure. Just getting one shot off with that Ranger, which is not going to do anything of value, but he's seeing what's going on. I don't actually know if he was able to see any of those Magicians coming out of the back. Still 4 out of 5. I'd be surprised if we didn't see some Settlers coming out of the Nationalist player right now. You always have to be on top of your company limit as Nationalist. That's kind of one of the biggest things you're paying attention to. And once you get in the range of like 6 or 7 company limit, you can have an army that can just win the game. So sometimes you use that final company limit, not saving it for Settlers, just get a unit, and then you go and try to make a big push, knowing full well that you might just lose a company and be able to get Settlers after that, or that you might just win the game right there. The 15-minute mark, 12 to 18 minutes, Nationalists can actually have a scary good army at that point. Oh, and look at this. We have a big raid coming from the south. Meanwhile, Tau is completely distracted up north. It looks like he's going for that council perhaps, but this is going to be unbelievably deadly. Rokron is going to go down. There is absolutely nothing he can do about this. He's going to have to actually turn his entire army around immediately or sacrifice it and just live pretty up here in the north. Oh, interesting choice from our nationalist player. His scouts are looking around and doing a good job scouting, but that's not where they need to be right now. They need to get back down and doing the smart play. Now, this is one of those things a lesser player would have just gotten in the mindset of, oh, I'm already committed up here. I have to just run in and take this council and completely sacrifice myself down south. It's definitely the mark of a good player when you know what you have to do. And this is also the mark of a good player. Look at Lord Mekton did. He did not try to push his advantage anymore. He took that single settlement, destroyed it, got out of there. And that was actually fucking great, because he completely made Tau react, bringing his entire army back. So much time was lost from Tau. Him going all the way up here, then all the way back, so much time was lost. And the Royalist player was just able to get out of there, get back into supply before he makes his next move. That was perfect. Over here, scouts from Tau are doing a really good job looking around and seeing what's happening. So Tau forced back. Now, that wasn't like completely devastating to his economy, but it definitely hurt him. It put him back down to plus 50. Meanwhile, the Royalist player is now at plus 65. Neither player are going for any Draga tech, just using it for economy. We got bank there. We got bank and iron export. What's your next move, Tau? He did eventually get a town. I did not actually see that. I wish I'd caught exactly when that happened, but he has been sitting on a lot of money there. And he's getting very close to being able to get either leads or, okay, he's going for the Nightbringer tech. So that is going to be able to get him zealots. I believe he still needs barracks there if he wants to get fanatics. If he sold that Carpentry Guild for a barracks, he could do it. Or if he just sold that iron for a barracks. It's always a little bit of a tough choice. You do want to have the wood there because you want to be able to stick Zealot Fanatic on the back of Bowman, but you also want to have the opportunity to get Leets, which requires a barracks. So it's a little bit of messing around with the components there. But he is going straight for that Nightbringer. Sappers up here. Oh, this is a big army. Okay, so we have more half-super Lancers, we've got these half-super horse archers, and these engineers are just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Continuing to macro up is Lord Mekton. Look at this. He is building a fucking wall there. Now, what's going to happen? Okay, so it looks like Lord Mekton's eyes are still on that Royalist town, and note this, no player has taken the spider yet. It's going to pop out a spider fairly soon, I believe. But okay, he's going for the spider now, and he'll be able to take this easily. I mean, it is 8 spiders, so it's going to be tough. The biggest thing with spiders is you just really want to have some archers there. They have that melee resistance, so you usually get disappointed if you try to just go in just with your melee guys. Okay, and just in awakened Dava with these engineers trying to take this council town, and actually they're going to be able to just fine. I did not know that it was that easy to take. Nava was certainly one of the big reasons why that was possible, and just because sappers are better than other engineers. Very interesting that that's possible. I didn't know that, and I will put that in the bank. The bank meaning, my head, I guess. Okay, I was completely wrong. Fanatics require barracks, Nightbringer, library. So I was just completely talking out of my ass there. Everything I said about components was completely inaccurate. He is able to get the fanatics there, and so he's sitting on a Zealot Fanatic company, and this is scary. This is so much DPS and the debuffs. Yeah, that's a lot. He needs a front line though. This is actually, I mean, he's gonna be able to like take some stuff down just based on how ridiculous his DPS is, but he really needs a front line. He's gonna take this council just fine. And I mean, I would love to see him just shit out some engineers right now. Look at that. With that company limit, you could just do 2 short engineers. Or preferably you could do, I mean, so not engineers, infantry. You could just do infantry cleric, infantry cleric. like 2 short infantry clerics would actually be amazing and basically give him an incredible army here. It would give him that front line that he needs, a very survivable front line, and then that ridiculous back row DPS. Wood is going up in his new council town, and I'm interested to see what he's trying to do here. Like I said, I very strongly believe that if he just got 2 infantry with cleric, he would be in supremo position right now. Over here, we have the Dark Rift being taken by our Royalist player, and he might try to take some of the indies up there. This is shaping up to be a very interesting and long game, which I love to see. More settlers coming out of Lord Mekton, and that is how you do it with Royalist. You continue to pump out settlers the entire game. It looks like all of his Kohan are already on other companies, so he's not really being able to do that 40 gold settler thing that Royalists can do, but 50 gold settlers is still very worth it. Just moving out a little is Tau. He still doesn't have much of a front line, but I think he's going to be starting... Oh, he's trying to go for the ultra front line here with his ultra back line. I like the play. It's bordering on tunnel vision, which it's something... I'm going to mention it because it's something that I see a lot of players do, is just having this tunnel vision for a specific late game and not filling in the gaps in between. Like, I think he's going to go for some sort of... I think he's going to get that barracks. He's going to put an iron down. He's going to go for some sort of, like, Gren with Channeler cleric kind of company. And that's not bad at all. And it's not... It's a pretty good play here because he's not under any extreme pressure, so it's not like he needs to be pumping out companies. But he could have just filled a gap there with some clerics and infantry or some such company that would just get him in a position to make more moves. Either way, this is what he's going for. I look forward to Tau proving me wrong. We have the Royalist army just kind of hovering about here, not doing anything super exciting. And we have Cleric Berserker. See, I like this. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. Just put down... You don't even need that Berserker in the back, but you had the extra iron, so why not? Like, this is just a frontline company that will just give you a little boost. It'll make some stuff happen. It's not going to win games on its own, but it's going to bolster your army. It's going to give you survivability and DPS in the front line, and is just going to be another company that you can maneuver around, because maneuvering around is so important in this game. Okay, so we do see Channeler Cleric Gren. It's a good company. Now that you have it, I'm certainly happy that it's there for you, Tau. And it can do some great stuff. You are way out in the corner there, but once that gets into your main army, you have a scary army. Still sitting on 8 iron. Still have company limit as well to get some settlers. So you want to continue econing up. But sitting on a lot of gold. Really interested to see what he's going to do. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant iron. And he was sitting on a lot of gold too. Full goons out, and I like all these plays. I mean, I like where he's going. I actually really do like his army. Went for the Armory Guild. One of the rarest components that we see being made. It's up there with, like, Masonry Guild. Armory Guild gets made a good bit more than the Masonry Guild, or perhaps some of the wall upgrades. But it's certainly not something you see every game. And look at this. He somehow just got... Oh, no, I was just looking at the other player. Other player, Lord Mekton, is at kind of a ridiculous amount of resources. And look, we're going to have a battle happening here. He is moving in, and I don't think he quite knows what to expect. This Channeler company is going to be scary, but he has a lot there. I would love to see some micro where these Lancers are able to get down. Yes, he's doing it, retreating the Lancers down into position to try to take out these Channelers. Goons are coming up, and look, the rest of Tau's army is going to come from behind, and this is actually going to be a sick pincer. I don't know what Lord Mekton is going to be able to do to get out of this position, because I think Tau definitely has enough to deal with all of this. This Channeler Cleric company is going to do a lot. These Dragoons are going to get up as the fight goes on, and the DPS from the back is coming. The sappers are going to be forced to retreat, but that is okay. Oh, very narrowly escapes death there, does Garridan. 87 health left. But this is going to be a sick amount of DPS. Now, the Royalist player was able to retreat in time, get back to the safety of Ravenville. And over here, what else does he have in the background? He has some more just Berserker with Cleric, and I like that play. Oh my god, he actually sacrifices the Royalist town. That's wild. Tau just, I mean... it's legit. He's got all these kind of ragged companies he wasn't going to be able to defend it with. It was also at like no HP. It never got repaired. So does the right move, doesn't hold on to it, doesn't get sad, doesn't cry in a glass of milk and then spill it. He just says, I can't keep this company, so I'm going to get rid of it. And with that, settlement. So Tau is now moving back, and he has a scary good army right now. Scary good. With all this DPS, he's got the Zealot Fanatic, he's got the Cleric Channeler. He is making use of 2 different factions. Elite Temple Tech. There. Here we go. Learning to talk again. It's hard, but I do it just for you guys. He is going to really be trying to get more iron, I think. The Armory Guild was a little bit of a weird play because he already built the goons and then he built the Armory Guild after, while having absolutely no component slots actually open to continue to get him more iron. He can go down here and take this iron deposit, as well as this one down here with his engineers, but that is not what he's doing. He actually wants to win this game. He is moving in with his ironclad units. He has his archers in the back ready, and he has an outpost that is forward and ready to make something happen. Very, very rare. 30 minutes into the game with Nationalist, not a single summoner has been made, but he does have Channeler Cleric. Okay, so this is scary. We got triple Berserkers with Cleric, and this is going to be a tough one to push through. Lord Mekton is doing a very good job trying to get on top of Tau's flank with all his cavalry, and this is looking like a scary attack. The Dragoons go in a really good position up there to kind of guard from both sides. Now, this is a shitload of DPS that is going to be coming. And look, swooping down from the north is this flank. And the engineers are going to be able to go up here and do a little bit to stop it. Forced to retreat all of his archer companies. And now this is really deadly because these archer companies are moving around and not fighting at all. Every second they are in that retreat, that little white banner there, that means they're not firing. Nevertheless, so much is here for Tau. And look, these Grens are holding so strong. They are going to be forced to retreat, but that was so much time that they were able to just tank right there. Meanwhile, the flank is doing a lot of damage, and it does take down Ethan, but this is actually going to end in a bit of a standstill, I think. Neither player is going to come away from this completely dead or completely alive. Mogok and Ethan both went down in that battle. I believe it was that battle, I have to imagine, because I didn't see Mogok go down any other time. So that was brutal for the Nationalist player, but Dava, the best one, still alive. Little redundant with the protection, but who else are you going to put him on at this point? It does give extra healing. I guess he could have actually put on the Dragoons. I would like to see that. I think that would really, really make his front line the best it could be if he moved Nava to those Dragoons. And look at this just mass. This is a mass of companies, 2 forts, and that militia of Ethan's Hollow. This is a choke point right here that the Royalist player does not want the Nationalist player to get through. And the Royalist player also very above an econ, and that is going to start rearing its ugly head as the game continues to go on. I think Tau desperately needs to get some settlers out in the background here, but he just spent money on something else. I guess it was that outpost there. So he is in a position where he needs to make a move. Absolutely needs to do something rather large to win this game before that economic disadvantage really catches up with him. Look at this. Just, would you fucking look at that? That is so many Berserkers. Tau definitely does have a bit of a contain going on here. Lord Mekton is not really able to get out and do anything. He's really forcing the defensive here. Put Nava on those goons, baby. I really want to see that. Oh, and he's going for the Nexus. Oh my god. Dude, games always end when someone goes for the Nexus. Every time. Now, not a move from Lord Mekton. He certainly knows this is happening. He certainly went past there and seen it, and so now the move is happening. So, I mean, that was a really fucking good time for that attack. Tau actually lost jack shit from that. He didn't lose almost anything. That is the easiest I've ever seen the Nexus taken. And he's not even going to be, like, tattered in the worse for wear after this. This is huge, and this is sick. He's going to be able... Like, look at that. Look at that. Look at all those resources he now has available. He has absolutely no money, so honestly, it doesn't really do anything right now aside from give him that center. But the time has come. Time is now. This is a deadly flank coming in from the top, and these Dragoons have got to get out there in front. Some of the archers are being attacked, but the Goons are able to get there, and meanwhile, over on the other side, the Berserkers are coming in. These engineers are trying desperately to repair the Nexus, but it just has so much goddamn HP that's going to take a long time to repair. Okay, so up north, scouts go down. These Dragoons are looking very tattered. They are going to go down if they get caught there. A lot of DPS coming out of these bowmen, but the Lancers are right on top of them. Lancers go down. The Grens with the Channeler Cleric is standing very strong still, but the Grens are slowly going down. And a forced retreat from both teams actually at the exact same time. I think Tau was actually in a pretty good position there. It was a little bit of a panic retreat from both sides, but the Nexus is held. And I really think this is the first game I've ever seen where the Nexus is being held, where this is actually going to continue to go on after a player takes the Nexus. Plus 79 to plus 96, and absolutely disgusting amounts of resources now for our Nationalist player. And it looks like he got another company somewhere. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, I fucking turn to Santa Claus when I see this company. I did not notice him getting the Astrology Hall at all, but he was flipping around components there, and actually look at how he made the resources work. He's actually perfect on mana. Plus 10 mana from the Nexus. Holy shit, fuck balls. This gives so many resources. I will say, this is not like my weird thing that I put in here. Not that I'm above putting shit like that, and this is just what the Assault Fort is in the game. And you actually can't change it. You can change it with patching, but you can't like change it in the editor. So if you put an Assault Fort down, this is what it gives. You can get any Meriton units out of it, but obviously no like faction-specific elite tech. So I mean, you can put you know, wood and iron down there and get some infantry and grenadiers and all the basics there. But negative 38, oh my god, double Cavs with double Elementalist backing. This game is looking fucking sick. I don't know if you had to sacrifice your life this much, my friend, royal player, Lord Mekton, but I think you actually do. Because with these, this is one of my favorite companies in the game right here, is the Invoker Cleric. Oh my god, and they are going to stop this flank heartily. They are actually not afraid of anything that is coming at them. And with Nava on there too, oh my god, heal, protection, blessing, and recovery, all those are going to stack absolutely fucking beautifully. These guys are getting plus 9 DV. They are at 50 attack, 25 DV with everything, and they're doing armored 80% damage from everything, 12 reverse damage. You cannot touch this company. No matter what you do, you cannot touch them. Cavs are coming in here, but look, those giant spider militia are actually out for the Nexus, and a lot of meteors are going to start going down. We see this guy is out here and just not taking any damage. The cavalry flank is forced to retreat. These Cavs are coming in, but I think they are honestly no match against what Tau has. Now, these Elementalists are doing sick damage. Mogok and the Sappers are going to go down, but still very, very little damage taken from this company. And if we try to find our Lord Mekton says GG. That was a sick game. That was fucking awesome. I'm so glad I decided to cast that. The Nexus taken by Tau. Oh, look at that. We had crossbowmen out there too. Double crossbowmen came out and he finally made use of that armory guild. So sick to see all that play there. Tau did a really weird opener that I'm still slightly confused about if it was the best opener, but he fucking made it work. Yeah. And going and getting that council, really interesting that he was able to take it with just Sappers and Nava. I think all of us watching this, especially us Nationalist players, should take note of that and know that that is possible. Lord Mekton played a great game too. I think he spent a lot of money on forts that I don't know was necessarily necessary. I think he was being a little extra cautious and defensive there. He was a bit slow to get any tech, really. I mean, that's not true. He had all those half supers. I would have liked to have seen some goons and maybe just another horse archer company and kind of use that maneuverability. But it's hard to say. Tau just played such a weird and fascinating and awesome game. That was sick to see. Elementalist in there, Channeler Cleric, the Invoker Cleric on the Elite Guards. So cool. That was an awesome game. I'm really glad I cast it. Well played by both players. Can't wait for more games. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching.